All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone. Happy New Year. Our first Franchise Empire newsletter of the year. And today we're going to talk about a home service resale that's only $135,000. We'll talk about Valvoline and if they're worth the investment. You've probably driven by one before and wondered how much they cost to open, how much they cost to make. We'll also talk about some of our clients that we work with and some other content that we think is helpful for you. If you're wondering why I sound weird, it's because I have a massive sore throat and I'm coming down with a cold. So if I seem off, it's because I am. But before we get started, we got a quick message for you. All right, welcome. If you're new here, my name is Tarek Johnson. I'm the CEO and founder of Franchise Empire, and here with Mark Magerman, who is our head of brokerage. Hey, Mark.
Hi, Tarek.
All right, Mark, I'm going to let you lead us into our resale of the week.
Sure. If you guys have joined us in the past, you know that we're pretty consistent when we lead off with our resales. Got to do a really good job of homework on these resales. There's a lot of information you need to find before you go forward. But I can tell you that all the resales that we talk to you guys about are from brands that we're very intimately knowledgeable with. So we support all these brands. This one is in the Richmond, Texas area. The brand will remain anonymous for many reasons. It is in the home service category, and I can tell you it is in the remodeling home service category, which gives you a little bit more specific information. The asking price is $135,000. Prior year gross sales, $127,500, which jumps right off the page as it's not a business that's really being worked. At least that's what I would say based on that, because if it was being worked, it would be worth a lot more than 135 and their gross sales would be higher than 127. Just a leap I'm making based on looking at these in the past. I don't think, there we go. Thank you. Couple bullet points to consider on this resale. Fewer than 100 franchisees with proven systems in place, significant opportunity to scale and grow with many territories still available. That's an important distinction. When resales happen with brands that don't have a lot of territories, usually those tend to be more impressive businesses. That's just a gut feeling I have. It's a proven model, excellent experienced leadership. And if you are interested in this brand, like most resales, especially in the service category, prior leadership and or management experience is really a plus. You don't necessarily need to have any industry knowledge because you'll get that through your training. And keep in mind that there's going to be a long list of people interested in these brands. So in any resale, if you're interested, please reach out to us. We can help you get the ball rolling. It's always a good idea for you to have already reached out to a lender and have pre-approval to purchase a business such as this, because again, you're buying a business from an existing owner. They want to spend their time talking to people who are credible. And if you have a note saying you're qualified to buy their business, you move to the top of the line. So if you have any interest further, please reach out. I believe we're giving you many opportunities to reach us through the bottom of the screen. And we can give you more information at that time, including potentially introducing you to the seller.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, Mark. And for those of you who are just joining, because I know that we have a bunch that are joining through the live stream, Mark was breaking down this resale, and we have a list of over 100 of them. So even if you're not in the, what is this, Texas, in the Texas area, and you want to know if there are some resales in your area, then you can still go to that link below, and our team can check for you.
I'm sorry, I should have mentioned that, Tarek, so you didn't have to speak that part. Sorry.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, no worries. All right, you want to walk us through Mr. Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, one of the greatest things about what we do as brokers is we get to really kind of help people change lives, right, for the better. And it's very rewarding for us when we have a successful candidate, because everybody starts off at the same. We just get to meet them and we walk through them. So in this case, Ben had been in the biotech and pharmaceutical industry for over 20 years. Interesting how many people, Tarek, we get coming to us from that biotech and pharmaceutical industry, something about that. He knew he wanted something more. He was looking for more freedom, more flexibility, and the chance to build something very meaningful for his family that he couldn't get working in his W-2 job. He'd been given thoughts about franchising, but like many people, wasn't sure where to start or what that right path looked like. Boy, so many people, Tarek, have that story. They just don't know where to start. Unfortunately, they don't find people like us, and some of them make horrendous mistakes. But Ben was just like that. He didn't know where to start. And my guess is he saw some of your titillating content and said, why don't I give these guys a shot? And he got connected to us, and he got connected with our one of our brokers, Chris, who we mention here all the time. Chris is a superstar. So he got connected with Chris, worked really closely with him. Ben got the clarity, the support he needed to cut through the noise and focus on the right opportunities. We walked him through the pros, the risks, and the realities together. Our process is very systematic, very specific, very structured. And usually if the candidate, in this case, Ben, is willing to go through, it opens up a lot of possibilities because we have a lot of access to some really excellent brands. So a painting franchise came into the mix as part of the due diligence. It all clicked with Ben. The brand's energy, the growth potential, the family first model aligned perfectly with Ben and his family's vision. That he believed this was the missing piece. He did what a lot of our candidates do, and they're really smart. I wish I was this smart when I was in franchising, but he bought multiple territories out of the gate, which gives him an opportunity to grow and scale his business and turn it into a real legacy. So he's now the proud owner of 2 territories. He's officially stepping into the ownership with confidence, clarity, and momentum. And we were really honored to be part of that process with Ben. And if Chris were here, he would probably say he's got a friend for life now in Ben. I know those two have a really cool relationship. And if I'm not mistaken, Ben is going to be leaving his job and taking this on full time, which is, again, a very important part of the process. It leads to more success, but it's a really hard decision to make. So congratulations, Ben. We're really happy for you. And we hope we get an invitation to his grand opening. And we hope we hear a lot about, maybe we have Ben on one of these, our next calls in terms of franchisee success. So good luck, Ben, and nice job, Chris.
Awesome. Yeah. Congratulations, Ben. Sounds super, super exciting. I didn't realize that industry, I guess it has popped up in a few blurbs of people leaving that. Must be something about it.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately now almost every W-2 industry is ripe with that, but we're the beneficiaries of it because we take it seriously when people come to us. We really want to make sure we're treating them well and doing all the right things for them. And again, we know not everybody becomes franchise owners, but if you're really committed to it, we can help make that path a little simpler for you. Yeah,
100%. All right, well, let's move on, guys, to the franchise of the week. And Mark, I'm gonna let you take the lead on this again as well.
Great. Just caveat there. I haven't had a chance to dive into Valvoline, so I might not be the expert that you are, Tarek, but I can do my best. Everybody knows Valvoline. That's one of the cool things about these is I don't know, 1,000, more than that. I'm sure they'll tell us in a little bit. But Valvoline goes back to 1866. Is that right? 1866? Wow. All right.
Yeah. Crazy, right?
Yeah, I guess. You learn something new every time you show up at these newsletters, right? So Valvoline goes back to 1866. Dr. John Ellis created the world's first petroleum-based lubricant, laying the foundation for a brand that has been tied to engines for more than 150 years. I just did not know that. By the early 1900s, Valvoline became a household name after being selected by Ford as the exclusive motor oil for the Model T, cementing its credibility. Boy, that must have been a really cool contract for Valvoline to get signed up to that, right? Back in 1900.
Oh, yeah.
So then the brand made a pivotal move in 1986, deciding not to remain just an oil manufacturer. Instead, Valvoline entered the retail space by acquiring Rapid Oil Change, did not know that either, introducing the now famous stay in your car quick lube model. Just 2 years after that, in 1988, Valvoline launched franchising. And by 1989, the first franchise location opened. One of those early franchisees, Henley Enterprises, would go on to become the Valvoline's largest operator, building a network of over 200 across multiple states. Wow. Very impressive.
That is.
I'm glad it wasn't me doing 200 locations over various states, but good for them. Today, Valvoline continues to adapt, investing in fluids for electrical and hybrid vehicles while expanding its retail footprint with over 2,000 service centers. Wow. Nationwide, the brand blends long-term relevance with a business model built on speed, convenience, and repeat demand. So let's see what it takes to own one of these on your own. Startup investment, leased property, which is probably 90%, if not higher, of the owners. Between $192,000 and $639,000. That's to get up and running. And honestly, I thought that number was going to be higher. So that's a lower number than I thought. If you're going to buy the property, obviously you're going to have the real estate charges in there. So it's going to be a lot more. And again, in any one of these situations, I don't think anybody ever goes and invests in one. So it's really a multi-unit play for franchise owners. Royalties, very low, 2%, 3%, ongoing 4 to 6, which tells you that they understand the ramp up required in these businesses because they're not charging you the full royalties until you have a chance to get that up and running. And again, like all really smart franchisors, they require the franchisees to invest a minimum of 3% of their revenue back into the local marketing. The brand takes care of a lot of national advertising. That's why you see Valvoline all over the world, but they don't necessarily invest in local marketing, which is really up to the owners. So 3% is that investment. And we really should write investment here because people don't, sometimes people misconstrue marketing expense as a cost when it really isn't a cost. It's an investment in your business. And if you don't believe me, take two businesses, spend money on marketing with one and the other don't market it and see which business succeeds better. So that's a little bit about the cost and the royalties.
Totally agree.
Who makes the ideal franchise candidate? Automotive friendly investors. That's a cool term, automotive friendly investor. Understands or is willing to learn the automotive service business. Again, you don't have to be an expert changing oil, which is really what they're not looking for. You have to be willing to learn the business. A local market builder. This kind of ties back into what we just talked about with the 3% spend on local revenue to get your local marketing investment. Strong at driving local traffic and managing neighborhood visibility. Things like investing in local sports teams, schools, chamber of commerces, all sorts of those kind of things. That's going to separate the men from the boys, so to speak, in successful franchising. A process-driven operator thrives in a system built on speed, consistency, and upsell opportunities. And a hands-on owner willing to stay involved in the day-to-day execution rather than treating the business as passive. Now, that usually means in the first year to 2 years, if you're successful in scaling these types of businesses, your ultimate goal as a franchise owner is to almost make yourself superfluous, but that comes from a lot of hard work and backfilling your role with quality people that you can rely on.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Quick snapshot of the FDD. Again,
I'm going to scroll down to the 2025, which is right here.
Thank you. There you go. This, again, lots of information here. We're just kind of touching base on it. We're not going to dive too deep into it. But what this will show you is 891 centers reported sales for 2025, right? That's what that says, total number of centers. If you look at the average center, the median did in sales 1.7, the average 1.844, and it shows you how many, how many stores are at that average or above. Cool numbers here. Oil changes per day, huh? The average does 50 cars a day. Would you have guessed 50? Or would you have guessed higher? I'd have guessed higher.
I would have guessed higher.
Yeah. So 50 cars a day gets you to that 1.84 average. And again, local marketing would augment that. Average ticket, $117.79. Again, that's an interesting number for me too. I thought that would be lower. And 84% of the customers do their premium oil changes. So again, these are just snapshots. Anybody that would invest in a brand like this would spend many, many days and time talking to other franchise owners for validation. But here's a quick snapshot of Valvoline if you ever were interested in that.
Yeah, that was awesome. Thanks for the breakdown.
It shows the high and the lows too, but people can read that. I didn't want to dive into that, but the high of 5.7. Wow.
Yeah, that's significant.
And I'm guessing if you're going to do $397,000, you're going to be what, closed Monday through Friday and open like from what, noon to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays only to get there. I don't understand that at all. But anyway, that's a little bit about the numbers taken right out of the FDD of Valvoline. A couple benefits for franchisees, in addition to what we'd already discussed. Established brand credibility, 150-year history creates immediate trust with customers. Fast repeat business model, recurring revenue is what we call it. They're recurring. They're done every single month or pretty close. Stay in car convenience is a differentiator. And again, there is a real estate play here for some of the real savvy investors who buy the real estate, build it, own it, eliminate rent. And a proven upsell model, obviously. Higher performing locations show increased average tickets through add-on services. So again, once you got a customer sitting there in their car, they're ripe to be able to add on. So checks a lot of boxes for franchise owners looking for these types of businesses. And again, I'm pretty sure that they would be agreeing with us when we say 99% of the people who become franchise owners of Valvoline build more than one.
Yeah, totally agree. They're probably a hard franchise to get into. They probably don't have much territory availability. And if you're thinking, hey, I don't want to be in the automotive business, well, there's all sorts of franchises that could be available in your area. So if you want to speak to the team, our team specifically, and find out if there are any franchises available in your area that align with your skill set, which I'm sure there are, then you can go to that link below.
Absolutely.
Last but not least is our most recent content that we put out. So we put out a video on profit margin. So you can go check that out. It's on the Franchise Empire YouTube channel. And we also have one about a boring business you can start in 2026.
Boring is good, by the way. Boring is good.
Boring is good. Mark, anything else to add before we rock and roll?
No, I just hope you feel better. It's not as fun when you're not up to par. But no, I think this covers it. We're really happy to do this. And as Tarek says, these are available, but there's so many more opportunities out there. And if you're interested in diving into the potential world of franchise ownership, that's what we're here for.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining us, guys. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys.